Okay folks, short video of just pure testing. That's all we're doing today. What am I testing? I'm testing different primers in 454 Casull and the ability of my Ruger Super Redhawk Alaskan to set these primers off. I want to make sure that it is going to be 100% with my reloads. I'm testing Winchester small rifle small rifle primers, CCI small rifle primers, Federal Premium Gold Medal small rifle primers, and S&B small rifle primers. Now, why am I testing? I'm testing because the Alaskan has shown that with my reloads, for some reason, it would not be 100% in igniting all primers. Now, having said that, with factory ammunition, it was just about, or really close to 100%. It is 100% with Hornady 454. For some reason, with MagTech, it's about 99%, where a second strike would ignite the primer. So I set off to figure out what was causing this. Yes, I could have just sent it back to Ruger. I did buy it used. So I put back in the original springs just to make sure nothing had been changed out there, and that didn't seem to fix it. So I read plenty of information over on Hamilton Bowen's website about why he created an extra length firing pin for the Redhawk, as well as on the Buffalo Bore website. In reading both of those articles, I came across some other data as well and found that sometimes the hammer stop needs about 10 to 20 thousandths taken off the face of it. That there's just not enough strike on the transfer bar into the firing pin. So what I did, instead of taking off 10 to 20 thousand, which scared me to death, frankly, what I ended up doing was using some Dicom and firing the pistol, dry firing the pistol to see if there were any high spots. And wouldn't you know it, folks, right on the edges, there are two high spots on the edge, meaning that the hammer itself was not cut or machined totally flat. So I took a file to it and got it totally flat using some Dicom and also a black magic marker. Got the hammer totally flat and took it out to the range today. Please ignore and don't be too critical of the extreme spread. This is a light 45 Colt plus P and 454 ammunition, nowhere near filling the case with Alliant 2400. It was really just to see if I could ignite all the primers. Enough chit chat. Now you have the history. Join me over at the Reloaders Network, and this is where you can find a lot of great information like this to maybe fix issues that you have. Let's see how the Super Redhawk Alaskan performs with the 4 different manufacturers of primers. All right, Reloaders Network. Up first, Winchester small rifle primer and 454 Casull.
834. 1055. 893. 872. 960. 1072.
Again, folks, we're testing light loads, 45 Colt plus P and the 454 Casull brass and different rifle primers to see which primers make a difference, and also, again, to make sure that my Redhawk Alaskan set all of them off. We'll be right back. Next up, in the 454 Casull brass and the 2-inch Ruger Alaskan. 45 Colt plus P loads is what I'm aiming for. And also, again, folks, mainly testing to see what the difference is between small rifle brass. Making sure we understand the difference between primers and the 454 Casull brass, and also making sure that this Alaskan will light off the different primers before we actually start loading heavy 454 Casull loads. Next up, CCI.
1031. 986. 1032. 947. 1081. 872.
'These light 45 Colt plus P loads, they're loaded with 2400. You can see very inconsistent, big extreme spread, but at least we got 100% ignition with the Winchester small rifle primers and CCI small rifle primers. Moving on to the next. All right, folks, this should even prove to be more interesting. I've got some Federal small rifle match primers loaded up in 454 Casull brass on top of what I consider to be 45 Colt plus P loads, coming out of a 2-inch Ruger Alaskan. Again, folks, I'm just doing a quick test to make sure my Alaskan is 100% with different rifle primers. So let's back up 7 yards, and we're going to go with the Federal match small rifle primers.
1049. 933. 994. 984. 1017. 979.
All right, 100% ignition out of the Federal match primers. Moving on to our last and final for the day. All right, last and final for today, folks. S&B. These are all the small rifle primers that I have in my storage that I could use with 454 Casull. Want to remind you again, these are 45 Colt plus P loads. A little bit of a rush job. Not really looking for accuracy or extreme spread or anything of that nature. Just wants to make sure that the Ruger Alaskan will ignite all primers that I have at my disposal. So moving on to S&B small rifle primer.
968. 1032. 989. 1010. 799. 968.
All right, Reloader Network. We got 100% primary ignition out of the Ruger Alaskan. And you know why I was going over this. Stated it a little bit in the beginning of the video. Want to make sure this thing is safe for backwoods protection. And there are plenty of things out there on the interweb or internet about the Redhawk series not igniting some rifle primers in the Alaskan and also other Redhawks. So got 100% ignition on the S&B, on Winchester, on Federal Match, and also CCI. Now we're going to get back to the bench. Stay tuned, because there's going to be an in-depth review over at dayattherange.com and on the Reloaders Network of the Redhawk Ruger Alaskan with full 454 loads and CCI rifle primers. All right, folks, safety disclaimer. Yes, there are many more rounds that need to be put through the Alaskan with my reloads to ensure my confidence of 100% ignition. And we're going to go on that journey, and I'd ask you guys to stay tuned, because I'd like for you to go on that journey with me as we put more rounds through the Ruger Alaskan and try to hone in on some loads. Fellas, over at the Reloaders Network, send me some of your 454 Casull loads. Maybe I can get some of those 454 Casull loads from Fortune Cookie. Something that maybe doesn't break my wrist, huh? Well, anyways, this has been a good experiment for a quick video. Stay tuned to the Reloaders Network and dayattherange.com for in-depth detail of the Ruger Super Redhawk Alaskan. Mr. Revolver Guy, dayattherange.com.